Chapter 14, Callum. I don't know how long I sat there, watching the sun burn into the sky as it set, watching the night grow steadily more secretive. Why had my life suddenly become so complicated? For the last year, all I could think about, or even dream about, was going to school, Seffi's school. I was so busy concentrating on getting into Heathcroft that I hadn't given much thought to what I'd do when I actually got there. I hadn't really thought about what it would be like to be so unwanted. And what was the point anyway? It wasn't as if I'd get a decent job after it. No cross would ever employ me for more than the most mundane, menial job, so why bother? But I wanted to learn. A yawning hole deep inside me was begging to be filled up with words and thoughts and ideas and facts and fictions. But if I did that, what would I do with the rest of my life? What would I be? How could I ever be truly happy knowing that I could do so much more, be so much more, than I would ever be allowed? I was trying so hard to understand how and why these things were the way they were. The crosses were meant to be closer to God. The good book said so. The Son of God was dark-skinned like them, had eyes like them, had hair like them. The good book said so. But the good book said a lot of things, like love thy neighbor, and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If nothing else, wasn't the whole message of the good book to live and let live? So how could the crosses call themselves God's chosen and still treat us the way they did? Okay, we weren't their slaves anymore, but Dad said the name had changed, but nothing else. Dad didn't believe in the good book. Neither did Mum. They said it had been written and translated by crosses, so it was bound to be biased in their favor. But the truth was the truth, wasn't it? Naughts. Even the word was negative. Nothing, nil, zero, non-entities. It wasn't a name we'd chosen for ourselves. It was a name we'd be given. But why? I don't understand. The words erupted from me in an angry rush, heading for the sky and beyond. I sat there for I don't know how long, furious thoughts darting around my head like blue bottles, my head aching, my chest hurting, until I suddenly snapped out of it with a jolt. Someone was watching me. I turned sharply, and a shock like static electricity zapped through my body. Steffi was farther up the beach, standing perfectly still as the wind whipped around her, making her jacket and skirt billow out. We were about 20 feet apart, or 7 million light years, depending on how you looked at it. Then Steffi turned around and started to walk away. Steffi, wait. I jumped to my feet and sprinted after her. She carried on walking. Steffi, please, wait. I caught up with her and pulled her around to face me. She pulled away from my grasp like I was contaminated. Yes? Don't be like that, I pleaded. Like what? I glared at her. Aren't you going to stay? I don't think so. Why not? At first I thought she wasn't going to answer. I don't stay where I'm not wanted. Steffi turned around again. I ran to stand in front of her. I did it for your own good. A strange expression flitted across her face. Did you? Was it my own good or your own you were thinking about? Maybe a bit of both, I admitted. Maybe a lot of one and none of the other, Steffi contradicted. I'm sorry, okay? So am I. I'll see you, Callum. Steffi tried to walk around me again, but I moved directly into her path. Fear tore at my insides. If she left now, that would be the end. Funny how a few hours ago, that's exactly what I'd been wishing for. Steffi, wait. For what? How about if you and I could go up to Celebration Wood this Saturday? We could have a picnic. Steffi's eyes lit up, although she tried her best to hide it. I breathed an inward sigh of relief, although I was careful not to show it. Celebration Wood? Yeah, just you and me. Are you sure you won't be ashamed to be seen with me? Steffi asked. Don't be ridiculous. Steffi regarded me. What time shall I meet you? She said at last. How about 10:30 at the train station? I'll meet you on the platform. Okay, Steffi turned away. Where are you going? I asked. Home. Why don't you stay a while? I don't want to disturb you. Steffi, get off it, I snapped. Get off what? You're a snob, Callum, and I never realized it until today. Steffi snapped back just as angry. I thought you were better than that, above all that nonsense, but you're just like anyone else. Crosses and knots shouldn't be together. Crosses and knots shouldn't be friends. Crosses and knots shouldn't even live on the same planet together. That's rubbish, I fumed. I don't believe any of that, and you know I don't. Do I? Steffi tilted her head to one side as she continued to scrutinize me. Well, if you're not a snob, you're a hypocrite, which is even worse. I'm okay to talk as long as no one can see us, as long as no one knows. Don't talk to me like that. Why, does the truth hurt? Asked Steffi. Which one is it, Caleb? Are you a snob or a hypocrite? Get lost, Steffi. With pleasure. And this time, when Steffi walked away, I didn't try to stop her. I just watched her leave.